Well, I don't know if it'll be proved in one day. It could be accumulation of evidence.
You see, this is the joke, right? Proved in one day. Now, this is a predetermined outcome. They already have it proved in their mind that they're going to get the 45th president of the United States. Doesn't matter the evidence. Doesn't matter the process. Doesn't matter that they rejected precedents in the United States Congress and the House of Representatives vis-a-vis impeachment in 1998 and in 1974 and in 1868. Doesn't matter that they're not following the course set by previous Congresses for impeachment. Process doesn't matter to them. They set up their own set of rules, rules that are highly tilted in their favor, rules that give the White House no voice, because the White House is standing up for the separation of powers. And so you have Adam Schiff making these unreasonable demands that would violate the separation of powers, and the White House standing up for the Article 2 branch and in favor of the separation of powers, and Adam Schiff saying, aha, that's obstruction of justice for the predetermined outcome. And then they're parading these weak witnesses to make it look like there's a bunch of smoke and fire when there's none. There's no smoke, there's no fire here. The President of the United States was executing his foreign policy. And per the United States Constitution, that is firmly within his purview, however he wants to do it. If it involves Rudy Giuliani or not, he can execute his foreign policy the way that he determines, as long as it's within the law and within the confines of the United States Constitution. But here's what bugs me about all this. Because the opposition to Donald Trump, and of course the whistleblower, all these elements that are now circled around Donald Trump and now being used and abused by the radicals in the United States Congress and the House of Representatives, the Democrat leadership, all of these elements are members of the swamp, right? We have members of the State Department. That is the swampiest of the swamp. We have the whistleblower. Clearly, he's part of the swamp. He's so ingrained in the swamp that he was part of the Trump White House at its infancy. Why that guy was even there, why that guy was not given a pink slip, at least for the White House duty, by Reince Priebus on day one. Remember, Reince Priebus was the chief of staff starting out in this administration. Why he was allowed, the whistleblower was allowed to stay in the White House is beyond me. But I blame Reince Priebus, and I blame John Kelly, and I blame Mick Mulvaney for a lot of this, for not seeing this coming. It's a no-brainer. You have Donald Trump, who campaigned in 2015 and 2016 on the notion of draining the swamp. Who's the swamp? It's the very people who are now testifying against the President of the United States. Why are they testifying against the President of the United States? It's not because he's done anything wrong. It's because Donald Trump is threatening the swamp. He is threatening their habitat. So why wouldn't the leadership, the management inside the Trump White House kind of see this one coming? The fact that the swamp creatures would eventually telegraph their angst over draining the swamp to the partisans, the Democrats in the Congress. Why couldn't they kind of connect the dots on this one and see it coming from day one? Roll tape.
People who are credible, and understand that the Republicans on the committee are going to be cross-examining each of these witnesses.
If they're allowed to cross-examine, but they're not going to be allowed to call witnesses. It's not a fair trial. And again, it's a constitutional process versus a legal process, but come on. We have this notion called due process, and due process is being trampled upon. But what rises to the impeachable offense here? Did Donald Trump get a federal agent killed in Mexico? Remember that during the Obama administration? Did Donald Trump neglect his duties and allow 4 Americans to die in Benghazi, Libya? Did Donald Trump rewrite unilaterally pieces of legislation like Obama did with Obamacare? Did Donald Trump write unilaterally from the Oval Office pieces of legislation like DACA? Did Donald Trump do any of that? All those are impeachable offenses. But the Republicans refused to hold Barack Obama accountable, and now we have this. Donald Trump did nothing of the sort, not even close to an impeachable offense. So Durbin's a hack, right? And he's emblematic of who and what this president is facing. Democrats will not quit until they've destroyed the presidency of Donald Trump. Hopefully, they'll not be successful for the sake of the 45th president, for the sake of the Constitution, and for the sake of the future of this republic.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.